The No Fate channel checking in with a very quick video on how to troubleshoot your auger and drive belt replacement on a Husqvarna ST 230P snowblower. I recently changed out both the auger belt and the drive belt on my Husqvarna ST 230P snowblower, and it just didn't sound right. It wasn't running right. Something seemed off. And I noticed that the belt here was too far to the left. You're actually riding the flange side on this side. The auger belt was fine, but the drive belt was off, and I didn't know what the cause was. Now, shame on me. I did not take a number of photos once I actually removed the casing unit. So I didn't know how it initially looked when I took it off. I also didn't start it up without the casing unit off, so I didn't know the true sound of how the engine sounded, again, before I changed out the belt. But based on the sound, I knew something was off. So I did a number of things to troubleshoot. First and foremost, I noticed that the belt blocker, this piece right here, was actually rubbing up against the belt, and that's a no-no. It should not rub up against the drive belt. There should be at least 1/8 of an inch, and there was not. So what I did was I took the bolts off and reseated it and bent it back just slightly. Possibly it got bent either during installation, during use, or when I was changing the belts out themselves. So either way, I fixed that so that they're not rubbing up against the belt when the auger belt's engaged. Clearly there's a gap there. The other thing I did was to adjust the speed select cable and the drive engagement cable. If you've got the owner's manual, it's on page 18, but I'll be completely honest with you, the instructions do not offer much help whatsoever. There's a bundle of cables here. One of these is the speed select cable. It's the one I actually have my finger on here, but what you can see better is this white one right down here. That is the drive engagement cable. Now, to adjust these, what you need to do is loosen the top. Now, you can't really loosen these with your hands. They're actually pretty tight. Loosen the top. Once you loosen it with a wrench, be careful because these are plastic, so don't crush down on it. Once it's loose, you hold the top and you take the wrench on this larger section right here and you turn to the right, and you're going to lengthen it. It's actually going to lengthen. That's what it says in the instructions, but it's hard to tell whether you should turn it to the left or to the right. You want to turn it to the right, righty-tighty. You're going to lengthen it. You want to go 2 full turns. And once it's lengthened, you're then going to hold this portion here and tighten this nut here. Again, be careful. These are plastic, so don't overdo it. And remember, less is more. But by adjusting both the speed select and the drive engagement cables, along with fixing that belt blocker that was touching the cable, the belts themselves, the engine sounded a ton better. Another method or another tactic that I had read about that I could have checked was the gasoline. Oftentimes when we store these, even with fuel stabilizer, the fuel goes bad. So if you've got old fuel in it, definitely consider replacing that fuel as well as a troubleshooting device. I'm just making this video so hopefully the number of hours I spent troubleshooting doesn't have to be duplicated by you dads. Hopefully this will be beneficial. Again, the Husqvarna Operator's Manual is horrible. I would highly suggest that if you're going to do any maintenance on the pulleys themselves, whether it's the auger or the drive belt, definitely take off the cover, take tons of photos of where everything is situated, and start the engine up so you can actually hear how it's supposed to sound, or how it sounds at least before you do any maintenance. Keep in mind that oftentimes when we do run these engines, not only is the cover on and is it snowing and windy outside, we've got ear protection on, so we're not even hearing how the motor truly sounds. The time you spend in the front end can hopefully save you a lot of time in the back end. That's a lesson I learned here today. Hey, if you guys made it this far in the video, definitely give it a like. Let me know in the comments below if it was helpful. If you have questions regarding a Husqvarna snowblower, specifically this Husqvarna ST 230P? Drop them in the comments below. As usual, thanks for watching. Don't save anything for the trip back. I am dedicated to helping you dads be great parents to your children and still accomplish your own personal goals. I post tips and tricks to save you dads time, energy, and money. 3 things that are in short supply for every dad out there.